Our lives have been a complete nightmare these last 2 months. Welcome, folks. Slipknot here in my office where I've been sitting here for 3 to 4 days staring at this camera trying to figure out what video am I going to make and how am I going to make it. The truth of the matter is that as you progress in YouTube, you start getting some better opportunities. And one of the opportunities that have kind of fallen in my lap lately is products. I'm never going to give you a product that is just not worth it. I find reasons for things. And if I think it's cool enough, I want to show it to you. Like, I think it's cool. But that's literally another video for another time. But the point I'm making is that I don't want to sit here and keep making all product videos. I want to do old classic vlogs where I go out and ride motorcycles and do weird stuff, but I'm in between jobs right now and the money's a little tight. I have 3 motorcycles. 2 have a dead battery. 1 I don't want to ride because I want to keep the mileage down because I plan on selling the H2 soon. I know I've never made any real content on it, but because I'm trying to keep the mileage down, so I only ride it, once every few days, every few weeks. It's really fun, but it's just not. It's a weekend thing, not an everyday thing. But the thing is, I am overrun with ideas. I have an entire whiteboard covering ideas that I still think are good ideas, which is why I haven't erased them. But it just gets hard to do things sometimes, and it's been extra difficult lately. Pretty sure the intro of this video started with something about how everything's been a nightmare. Well, everything's been a bit of a nightmare. And for a large portion of you who are tired of watching me sit at that desk, as sick as I am being there, it's where we're at right now. Again, a lot of people complaining about product videos. I don't see what the problem is, and everybody makes it sound like I'm such a sellout sometimes. If you were in these shoes, you would do the exact same thing, never apologize for it. Like this. Brunt asked me if I wanted a pair of new work boots. Tell me you would say no. Shut your mouth. So Williams was working with them. I called him, asked him how it was and whatever. He said they're great boots. And for somebody who works on his feet for 12 to 15 hours a day behind the bar regularly, lifting kegs, dropping things on my feet like kegs. If you've ever felt the weight of a keg, you'd want some work boots too. So Brunt sent me these. I was in between 2. I told him to surprise me, so I don't know what they are. And they've been sitting back there for a lot longer than they should be, and I'll explain why too. I don't even know what these are. It was between this one and this one. And I've been dying to wear these, so let's see what they are. Are these boots too snug? Hey, adjustable insoles, that's awesome. And yeah, I work on my feet for hours, and a good quality pair of boots don't hurt your feet, protect your feet, just comfortable. Who would say no to that? And I am excited for these because I am starting a new job soon and I need them. So I need to break them in too. So let's see what they are. Oh, wow, these are bigger and beefier than I thought they were. Look at these things, they're all... I don't know if you know this. 80% of your taste buds are actually in your sinuses, so you smell, and it's just, there's certain smells that do certain things. The fact that I have a new dog means I had to go buy tennis balls again, and smell of a freshly cracked can of tennis balls. But yeah, wow, these are freaking rad. Waterproof. Reinforced toes? Steel toes? Oh. See, the thing is, as much as I love Doc Martens, they don't support my ankle, and I really love ankle support. I really love being able to get that nice and tight. Zippers are cool, but zippers fail. Like, I understand, but being able to have a good pair of boots that you just strap down. I like the fact that you have the choice between eyelets and speed lacing. I swear, I don't have a problem. It's always that first time. Oh. Woo, that's snug. That's great. The padding around the ankles. Oh, yes. That is what I'm talking about. That is a good pair of boots. Woo! Shit, yeah, dog. I love these. But when it comes to working with companies, it's also, I like checking out their website. It's not just gimme, gimme, gimme. I like to see what they have. I like to see what personality some of these companies have. And they had something really freaking cool. And I feel like it was kind of like the kicker of why I really wanted to really talk to these people was this. Clearly, I like wearing hats, and wearing hats has become a really bad habit that I've been trying to kick, but they had these hats. Really keeps finding the connection between bartending and construction in a very weird way, where it's like, cool, trucker hat, right? But this hat has a really awesome trick. Can't believe they actually sent it with one too. I don't know if I could get that in and out like a freaking samurai swordsman, but as somebody who bartends, I constantly need pens and Sharpies. I'm constantly shoving them in there. The fact that that's right there, I love that. I love that. And that's why I'm like, okay, let's see what they've got to talk about. And we talked, you know, these boots are great. They're so comfy. Thanks for the boots, Brunt. Let's talk about other things. So recently, everybody got to meet Archer. Can you quit being dramatic? My new French Bulldog, he is a terror. He likes to run into walls at full speed. Hard head. He is an absolute sweetheart. And he's a nightmare, as all puppies are. People forget how terrible puppies are. What you don't know is, about a week later, there's Shorzy. Shorzy is an Australian Shepherd mix. He's gonna be absolutely massive, and we're hoping for that. About a week after we got Shorzy, so it's 2 weeks after we got Archer, Shorzy got Parvo. I don't know if any of you have ever dealt with Parvo or lived through it with your dogs. It's an absolute nightmare, and it's either gonna cost you an absolute arm and a leg, and they had an option for outpatient program, which is about a quarter of the price, but that meant for 2 weeks, me and my girlfriend were up 24/7, IV fluids, different foods, making sure he's eating, force feeding, antibiotics. It was an absolute nightmare. For the first, week? For the first week, he started doing all right, and everything started to get hopeful, but they also said don't be hopeful when they start doing good, because it can easily take a turn for the worse. That's exactly what happened. So we had to find somewhere that wasn't the emergency vet. Anytime I have to take a pet to the hospital, I prefer to take them to the emergency place where I took deals where they saved her from her seizures when she should have died. Any other place would have put her down. So we took him in, and 3 days later, they're like, he's doing great. You can come pick him up, but he still technically has Parvo. You still need to specially feed him. Since Archer hadn't gotten his shots yet, you had to keep them separated, so we had to separate the house in half, where I literally had 2 pairs of clothes where I would strip down before I go into the other part of the house, and it was just... If you love animals, you'll understand that that was a precedent, and that was the only way to... there was no way around it. I couldn't think of anything else. My poor dog is dying. But yes, there's also Shorzy now, and he's an absolute derp. So while these two go absolutely bananas, let's continue the story. So again, Shorzy gets sick a week after we get him. Right before that, when we first got him, so we got Archer, we got Shorzy, we got him a couple of days apart. Before Shorzy gets Parvo, we've been dealing with the landlord of this house. So if anybody watched this video, you'd be like, oh, look at that, we moved into this new house, I have this whole new office, and it's great, and I have the ability to just come in and get things done, which is completely the intention. But if you look around my house, things are still in boxes, things are not where they need to be, and the reason they're not anywhere they need to be is because there's been a lot of problems in this house. None of it's been fun, or easy, or just tolerable. So almost all the wood in this house, which is all the original door frames, are just infested with termites to the problem that they're just sinking within themselves. I opened the bathroom door one day and my hand almost went through. Things like that, like that, like that. Now, in no way did I expect this house to be perfect. I've lived in houses that were over 100 years old before. I've never seen a house with this many problems. The termites are just, you can shake a door and it's like a salt shaker, just everything coming out of it. If you look at this room and then that room, there was one outlet. That outlet. I had to run a 25-foot extension cord, which didn't even make it all the way to my TV, which is over here. So I needed to make it from that outlet all the way around and through there to get to my TV. Why don't you put a TV anywhere else? Because that's where the freaking TV goes. Again, when we're walking around the house, when we first saw it, they were like in the middle of remodeling and doing construction, and they're telling us that, like, you know, we're remodeling. So when you come into a bathroom and you see that stuff and that stuff, you think to yourself, rightly so, that they say they're gonna remodel, they're gonna remodel that. And as we're signing the lease, like, yeah, no, we're gonna be there in a week, and blah, 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 blah. Hey, while you guys are moving in, try to keep everything centralized because we're still coming to do construction. Like, try not to like overfill the room so we can do A, B, and C. And they never showed up. And for every week that we lived here, I would email our property manager every Monday, call them every Tuesday, email them again every Friday to see what was happening, and nobody ever got back to me. Now, I like to think that I'm smarter than an average bear, so I made sure to email everything to have proof of everything. Well, the week we got Shorzy, we sent out a nice long email dating every complaint, the date of every complaint, the times that anybody has responded to us, which were almost never. Every time the word termites were mentioned, it was like zero, like, acknowledgement of it. Like, they rushed us into this house. They told us the day of that we could move in. And since it's the same property manager as my girlfriend's last apartment, they're like, oh no, we're just gonna transfer the lease. And like, so like they basically said, get out of there and come in here and you have, 3 days. I think I went over a lot of this in the last video where we gave them our application. They didn't run our applications until the day of, and they told us 2 hours before we're allowed to move in that we were allowed to move in. And it was back to the emails. We told them about the emails. Then they started actually responding to things after we put things out in black and white, dates, times, and responses, and how many times we've said things, because the next thing that happens is I'm gonna get a lawyer. So they finally respond, and they offered to, fix things, and like, they start fixing things, but they start fixing things slowly. You only saw like 2 or 3 termite damages because they started patching up a lot of it. Like, they started doing some work. A lot of the doors look like that, but it was like so slow moving. I don't know about you guys, but somebody telling you that they're just gonna show up tomorrow at 10 a.m. does not work for me. Playing out a week in advance. Like, let me talk to my bosses, let me talk to my job, let me figure out what's happening. Well, soon after they started doing all of that, we started figuring out we got lead paint. So they're in here and they're sanding lead paint. And like, they treat us like we don't know what we're talking about. I've talked to the city. The city told me to call code enforcement. Not trying to do that because I'm trying to get out of this goddamn lease at this point, but I can't rush out of here because we just spent a lot of money on getting Shorzy his medical treatment. So the unfortunate truth is that we're slow on money. So it's not as simple as just move out, because we got to make down payments and stuff like that. And our lives have been a complete nightmare these last 2 months. It's not an exaggeration. And it's like every day is a little different thing. And I don't know, I couldn't complain about everything all day long, but I'm trying to be positive. We have the dogs, we have each other. Things can only go up from here. But this house has been a nightmare, and that's why nothing's finished, and that's why there's nothing taken out of boxes, because we don't know if we're gonna stay here tomorrow or leave here tomorrow, and I can't sit here and look at everything in boxes forever. So I started putting things up, trying to make it look nice, because I don't care if we leave tomorrow. I wanted something to feel done, because the house doesn't feel done, because we are afraid to do anything in the house. It's a nightmare. We need a vacation. Taking one very soon, hopefully. Hey, and I want to go take the dogs out to a camping trip and just go sit out in the, roast wieners and camping and play with the dogs. That sounds great. I don't know. I feel like a lot of you are over me complaining about my crap situation. Yeah, and again, I try to keep things positive, and I know we have better than a lot of people. Something's got to happen. Like we got to get out of here, and you know, hopefully in the next month. But that's the problem. It's like, it's a nice house. The interior of the house is nice, but there's a lot of problems, and we can't stay. We just cannot stay here. And, you know, just a story of catching you up and updating you on the nightmare that has been my life. But light always shines brightest in the dark. Whatever. I'm done complaining. Just wanted to share. So, folks, you know how this works. We've done it a bunch of times. We're going to do it a few more. Don't forget to like this video. Do not forget to subscribe. And as always, catch you on the flip side.